Welcome to Coronation Island. I'm in charge of security at this event. This event where Cullen's going to announce the beginning of Cullen's Brain full episodes. Before this can happen, I need to make sure there are no other interests that'll interfere with this event. Well, Cullen, I don't see any terrorist groups. I don't see any other interests such as pride, religion, or politics just waiting to butt in. Therefore, I think it reasonable to conclude for you and for you that this event is locked down, yo! And I'd like to thank my security for locking this down. Hello, everyone. Well, greetings, I'm trying to make that normal now. And welcome to the first episode of Cullen's Brain. My name's Cullen, and in this one, I'm going to bring up the debate between John F. Kennedy and Richard Nixon in 1960, along with analysis of the two. Now, why does this matter now? It's Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris. Well, with that on the horizon, I think this is important to talk about, actually. So, let's get started. First, I'll say that these three qualities are important in the makeup of the personality of someone in a leadership position. Number one is education. Number two is experience. And number three is boldness. Education, well, you want someone to know what someone's doing. Experience, you want someone who's already done things and had applied experience with that education, or just lots of experience without education. The third is boldness, someone who's going to take action and make decisions. When it comes to Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris has superior education. However, Donald Trump has shown superior experience and, I think, boldness. And I say Donald Trump has better experience because he's had actual presidential experience and Kamala Harris has not. If you want to argue with me there, go ahead. He proposed the construction of a giant wall and proposed the Space Force, something that was put into action. It now exists. The wall, not so much. But it was bold. He decided on something colossal like, say, the Transcontinental Railroad or the interstate highway system before it, though a wall's not like an interstate highway system. Not that extremely big. When it comes to education, for Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy back in the post-war era, back during like the 1960 debate, Nixon went to law school, John F. Kennedy went to Harvard, and included in his studies was international politics. I think John F. Kennedy, and this is my opinion, pulls ahead of Nixon, kind of. Now, he was younger than Richard Nixon by about 4 years. And that means that Richard Nixon may have had more life experience in general than John F. Kennedy. So, I'll say that those were about equal in the education and experience sum up. What John F. Kennedy had that Richard Nixon didn't was perceived, and probably real, youth and vitality. And also charisma. The boldness category, I say he had it. He proposed a very advanced plan for the United States, and you might be onto what I'm about to say. The moon landing. He said, we'll put a man on the moon by the end of the decade, and that is what happened. It was even followed up on after he was assassinated. I don't know if Richard Nixon had anything that bold, and I don't know if Kamala Harris has anything that bold, but it might be necessary. We shouldn't assume it won't be, so someone with boldness better be elected, and Kamala Harris better have it if she's elected. And we know Donald Trump has boldness. But education is important too. And that's where Kamala Harris has more than Donald Trump. You can look it up. I sure did. And I read that Kamala Harris has education in political science and economics, while Donald Trump only has economics. That's 2 against 1, and one's more politically focused. Hers is kind of ahead of Donald Trump's. And when it comes to learnedness, I think that Richard Nixon did pull ahead of John F. Kennedy during the 1960 debate, when people actually took turns at a debate. And neither of them studied economics. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris did. They were talking about the economy, and John F. Kennedy said the United States was struggling. Then Richard Nixon's turn came, and he said, I agree with what John Fitzgerald Kennedy said. However, we must consider that was a recession year. And when the economy improves, it's not going to struggle. There are recessions every once in a while. And then America comes back. It's happened in my lifetime. So, if Kamala Harris can pull something like that, that's where she pulls ahead of Donald Trump. Anyways, thanks for listening to the first episode of Cullen's Brain. My name's Cullen. Please like, comment, dislike, subscribe, whatever you're going to do.